Live streaming is on.
Hey, good morning and evening, everyone, from wherever you come from. We have a pretty exciting lineup here on the World From Here. Thank you again for joining us. It's one of those rituals that a lot of people, including myself and the team here, looks forward to. We have a special guest with us here today that Tim will announce here in a second. And Tim's going to come on. And I'm Dan Gay, Chief Marketing Officer of Blocksearch Blockchain. And good morning to you, Tim. Good to see you this morning.
How you doing, Dan? You can see me, huh?
I can see part of it, yeah.
So you can tell this is me. How do you know this isn't a deep fake?
Yep, I can tell that's you.
How can you tell this is me? This could be a deep fake video.
It could.
So welcome, everybody. Yeah, thanks for coming on board, Christoph and Daniele. Excited about today. Obviously, I'm wearing a mask. I don't need to. I'm in the office here, but this week India announced the most cases ever historically in COVID. It's the COVID B1.167, I think, variant, which is very dangerous. In Canada here, we have had to restrict all international flights from Pakistan and India. I heard this week a statistic that 1/3 of all international flights had COVID on them coming into Canada. 1/3.
Wow.
So my point today is, as we talk about what we're going to talk about with Christoph and Daniele and the world from here in tech decentralization, let's keep in mind that we're not out of this thing yet, folks, and let's be safe. So yeah, wear your masks, be safe, be real. And that's what we're here to talk about, right? Christoph and Daniele, is being real with crypto too, because I think a lot of people are wearing blinders, not masks here, but they're kind of wearing it up here. And we're here to open that up. So very excited about this world from here today.
Me too. We've got, again, Daniele Minci, who's here with us, I think, every week, and he's the president of Fusion STX and Fusion Funder. Thanks from Italy, Daniele.
Thanks, thanks, team, and Christoph. Thanks for having me here. Always a great pleasure.
Absolutely. And then Christoph Watton, who I know that you're from Lithuania, but you're actually in Brussels, correct?
No, I'm actually from Belgium, but I'm living in Lithuania.
You're living in Lithuania. Okay. Boy, I got those lines all mixed up. So
yeah, a little bit. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
Thanks for joining us. And Christoph is a crypto expert, has been with some major exchanges and is consulting with some major groups, including ourselves. And we're very fortunate to have Christoph join us this morning. So thanks for joining us. Your evening.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a while talking to you guys as well. Now, there's one thing what I don't like is when people call themselves or get called an expert, because it just limits them to grow and develop themselves more. I think expert is something what's never reached. So yeah, that's just a word that puts a limitation on yourself, and I don't like limits. So
okay, well, that's why we've got the whole world behind you there.
Yeah.
So no limits for sure. So, and Tim, if you could, just to set this up, go to the next slide, because I see this, and we all kind of talked about this, is kind of crazy town, what's happening. There's a huge amount of FOMO, fear of missing out. But what we're going to talk about today is real value and transformation. We want to talk about Web3 and what that means, as well as DeFi and all the things that are happening versus the real things that are really coming out of this. And a lot of people might not see what's coming out of this, but you know, when white papers are getting $1 billion or more valuations, a lot of people get caught up in this whole craze and fear of missing out. But there are real digital businesses that are emerging from this. And it's, Tim, just like you said this morning, it very much a reminder of kind of like .com, what happened there with some of the big businesses that came out. We can't hear you, Tim.
Put on your mask again, maybe.
Yeah, so I unmasked myself here. Yes, Dan, there are a couple little companies I can recall back in 2000 when all of this was happening, and there was a lot of craziness out there. And one crazy, silly little company was selling books, and another one was focused on doing search engine stuff. And I'm trying to remember the names of those companies. I think one was called Amazon, and the other one was something like Google or something like that. Anyway, there were a bunch of other companies that were really hot though, like pets.com. Now that one, or buy.com. I actually was working with buy.com. Those guys, man, they killed it. Wait, maybe it was the other way around. Let's talk about reality. Reality, I'm a fundamentalist. I've been working on this for a long time. We've got a platform that really does stuff. We got a token that's coming out. We're super excited about it. But Christoph, tell us what's actually happening out there, like pump and dump. I mean, open it up. Tell us what's really going on, because we got a lot of crazy valuations out there. We're excited to hear about it. There's is a fundamental transformation. Somebody texted me today, and I said, over the weekend, this week, and they were talking about this valuations and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, Bill Gates became the richest man in the world on when he owned less than 5% of Microsoft, which is a real platform, a real company, does real stuff, right? And this person I was chatting with came back and said, well, he was in the right place at the right time. And I was thinking, hello.
He created the right place at the right time.
Right place, right time. Blocksearch is the right platform. Tell us a little bit about what's happening in Crazy Town out there, and how we're gonna get some fundamentals into this, Christoph and Daniele. We're anxious to hear.
Yeah, I think what happened the past few months is that what we don't need to forget is basically last year, March, we were at $3,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We did a times 21 run, basically. The past few months were just intense and insane. What happened the past 2 months, let's say, Bitcoin grew during the month too much compared to the beginning of the month when CME futures got registered. They expire the last Friday of the month, every last Friday of the month. And Bitcoin grew too much. So that's why when you saw and you can check this on CoinMarketCap, just check Bitcoin. The last week, the week that contains the last Friday of the month, Bitcoin basically just dumped 2 times during that last week by 8% and 10%, just for those future contracts to fill through. That was 2 months in a row. And for this month, basically, the growth was there, the momentum is there. Where Bitcoin is going right now, in my opinion, is manipulations. I can explain this to you in a second. So from my point of view, and this is not financial advice, I'm looking at futures, and futures should put us starting from Monday. It's going to be weekend now, lower volume. But during next week, we should have a spike up. The reason why I say it's being manipulated right now is because only centralized exchanges and with margin trading and futures, for example, all those liquidations, basically, what they say as it's negative. What people need to understand is there's also a winner side from it. They only talk about the losing side, but whereas the losing side, there's also a winning side. And in this case, it's the centralized exchanges. And I've been doing research, and they take their price feed basically from 2 to 3 other class A, to say it like that, exchanges, which are also centralized. Now, there is supposed to be a liquidity framework of the top exchanges. It's not specifically out there, but the people that are in crypto, we all know that there are liquidity frameworks, liquidity feeds basically to exchanges, and it feeds the arbitraging between those exchanges. Now you have to explain me how on one exchange Bitcoin is 51,000, and on the exchange that I was on, I'm not going to say the name, but it was at $48,000 So that's $3,000 difference. So also no arbitraging anymore, no liquidity framework, no feeds to each other anymore. So I almost got liquidated. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I saw an interview, an article about RAND protocol was 11 cents on Binance, while on other exchanges it was 80 cents, 90 cents.
Wow.
That's how a centralized exchange can just buy wash trading, because all those trades are, it's a centralized exchange. It's not on chain. It's just the front end of, basically with those exchanges, it's only the wallet that counts. Whenever you deposit to a centralized exchange and they have the custodial license, normally the top exchanges have, your money is not your money anymore. They can use it for wash trading, depleting the order books, manipulating the market, and trigger liquidations.
And Christoph, isn't that kind of,
like,
I mean,
right now, the next 2-3 months, more and more liquidations and manipulated wash trading liquidations by centralized exchanges is going to come to the front. And I think with the evolution of decentralized exchanges, the next thing is margin trading and peer-to-peer lending by smart contract that feeds.
Real quick, isn't that kind of what we saw with GameStop in the traditional markets, and what we've always seen in traditional markets with dark pools and, you know, HFT, high frequency trading, and so forth? I mean, it's the same stuff, just different market, right? Different asset base that's being traded.
I wouldn't call it like that, because like the crypto space is especially even more unregulated than the normal space. What the crypto space does is completely illegal in the normal space, because that's regulated. I want that. I need the crypto space needs it. Like we need more regulations, because this is just insane and getting out of control. How things can be manipulated, wash trading, things that are happening on your screen but are not actually happening. Also, with this 9 billion liquidation, like there was no specific high volume being sent to exchanges or anything like that. Even the liquidity reserves on exchanges for Bitcoin are dropping. So people are actually, the whales are accumulating. Where these drops are coming from, it's disgusting. It's insane.
Right. So what about this, Daniele? We had this big conversation on another channel I was following about this. I can't even remember the name of all these coins anymore. What is it?
Well, it was Doge, SafeMoon,
whatever. Doge, and what was the other one?
SafeMoon.
Yeah, SafeMoon. I can't. Really creative names, by the way, but what the heck? What's going on?
That was hamburger, right?
Well, if we see, let's say, from again from the macro perspective, what is happening in the space for those not breathing in the space that we all do. So at least, you know, the few of us. So we are in a big shift in the sense that more and more, so the big guys are stepping into it, at least in the US. So big institutions, mutual fund, following the launch of the so-called corporate playbook that MicroStrategy has launched a couple of months ago, and Tesla injected 1.5 billion capital into Bitcoin. So at the end of the day, there's more and more institutional playing in the game at the same level. So there are centralized exchange that are playing kind of centralized exchange, and the traders they play very a big role of speculation and intraday trading. Honestly, again, not financial advice. I don't really care about what's going on intraday. I don't really follow this. It's not something that really matters to me. So if an asset has fundamentals, I look into it. If it doesn't, I don't look into it. So, but what happens right now is that, first of all, last year we were still discussing about what is Bitcoin, is a store of value, is a currency, is a mean of payment, what is this, and people debating. This year, there is a kind of a consensus that Bitcoin has become a world-class store of value. So number one, which is trying somehow to replace the capitalization of the gold and the silver and the commodity market as a whole as a store of value. So which is kind of a bigger consensus that we didn't have last week. So for me, this is a big validation in the space, because it's an asset class that today is widely recognized, and we have somehow surpassed the notion of currency. Number two, last year we never discussed about DeFi, and we didn't discuss about NFT. Okay, those three things together, so store of value, store of wealth, whatever you want to call it, asset class, NFT, And DeFi have created, in my view, the new dimension of the world where we're living on right now. And even more, and probably that will be one of the topics we're going to discuss, there is a concept of Web3 that it did not exist. And Web3 is essentially the decentralized web. And if I put all those pieces together, I do see a tremendous value development across all those frameworks.
Right. And you mentioned something that I'd like you to drill down a little bit on, which is you don't pay attention to intraday trading, you pay attention to real asset value, real functional value. Can you just dive into that a little bit? Because, you know, it's enticing. And what you guys do, I got to be honest, it fascinates me, and I wish I had time to do it because, Christoph, you started schooling me on this in December. I can't believe it's been a full quarter and a bit of a month. And you're like, oh, Tim, just, you know, kind of get this thing set up because this is how it's going. And I did a lot of work over the holidays. Thank you very much for that. And, and I'm watching this, and I've done a huge amount of technical work on the back end to be able to incorporate these things. But this now I understand what an asset value model looks like in this market. But Daniele, maybe you can explain that, and then Christoph, maybe jump in and tell us how you think that's going to change as we do bring in more regulation as well as more real kind of assets behind these things, because it is fascinating. You guys are I know you don't like the word experts, but if there's experts out there, you're closing in.
We'll call them thought leaders. How was that?
Yeah, thought leaders.
No, I mean, let's say for me, dealing with markets, it's much more kind of a habit and a skill that you develop on what is your mental kind of connection to the market,
right?
Instead of your technical skills on deciding when to buy and when to sell. Again, not financial advice, not soliciting any type of investment. Because based on my experience, I've never been able to time the market because you cannot. Because the market is a sum of individual behavior, and most of the time, those behaviors are irrational. So how can you really time the market? So as long as you fit into an asset because you strongly believe it, at least this is what I'm doing, I don't really care the daily volatility or even the intra-week or intra-month. I don't really care. As long as
you're a buy and hold guy. You're taking the Warren Buffett approach.
I was just going to say Warren Buffett and fundamentals. Yeah.
So as long as I believe in, and I mean, if you take the whole crypto, there are 9,000 projects. So obviously you cannot be educated into every and any single project and run fundamental analysis on any of them. So you need to have a kind of filtering on deciding what somehow connects to you depending on something. And as long as you believe into this asset, and if you see from the macro perspective, so I just take the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just an example. If you see how Bitcoin has been growing since inception back in 2010, has been growing steadily at 200% a year, steadily every single year. But obviously, you can argue, well, I bought Bitcoin December 2017. It didn't grow 200 years, 2018, because you didn't time the market properly. So people talking about, the growth, about assets like something, okay, I buy, I hold forever, and every year I own 200% more, which is true as long as, first of all, you start and you keep the asset for, at least in the case of Bitcoin, at least 4 years, and you will always win, at least based on historical data. But then if you enter today in Bitcoin and next month is going -20, people get afraid and eventually they can sell and realize a loss of 20%. So my point here is, as long as you strongly believe into something because you've done your own research and you believe the long term this asset will win, then you're going to win. Otherwise, if you play with very, very volatile assets, as anything in the crypto space, anything, it's super volatile. So the biggest risk you have is when you step in and to deal with intraday volatility. I don't want to check pricing every 15 minutes. I don't want to do it. I want to do something which is much more purposeful and meaningful in my life, in my daily life.
Right.
So then if you do intraday, then you are in front of a screen and trying to beat the market. And remember, in average, you will lose. So
it's like Vegas.
That's why I want to play long term. That's my
we're
what do you think
factors
on
against
this
you.
whole thing?
I think Daniela said something about risk, the biggest risk to take, but I consider the biggest risk to take is taking no risk at all. Sometimes you need to gamble, especially in this market. Like, if you do some research, you can gamble.
Right,
much.
right.
There were many projects, for example, on re-timing the market. Like Daniela says, what happened is that these IDOs, so we evolved from IEOs, initial exchange offerings, where your public sale happens on a centralized exchange, basically, to an IDO, which is a decentralized launch pad, to say it like that, decentralized fundraising platform. And then within 24 hours, those tokens would get listed. 1 hour after the fundraising, the token gets listed on Uniswap. And here's what happens on Uniswap. I'm just going to draw it in the air. It gets listed. It pumps. It dumps. It pumps for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. It dumps for 30, 45 minutes. And then it starts accumulating. And if the project was hyped enough, so you look into the community chat and the news and the marketing that they did with the influencers, because influencers are completely back into promoting, because a lot of new people stepped in and the gains were insane. So back, like, I see 2018 all over again. Like, influencers, a lot of new people stepped in. The amount of messages that I got, like the past month, of people all of a sudden reaching out, like, so I'm in crypto now, what should I buy, this, that, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you anything, because like, you step in crypto, just put it, because if I need to put something, then I'm gonna be the one to blame if it doesn't come out or something like that. So I share my portfolio with them, and they do whatever they want. Like, I don't care. Sometimes they reach out, like, what is this project about? Like Pi.network. Someone today texted to me and looked at it. It's like, you can mine the token on your phone. I'm like, oh wow, amazing. I looked up the team. The team is non-existing on LinkedIn. The people don't exist. And you can mine and run a node. It's like, wow, mining and nodes at the same time on your phone. Amazing.
That's
and
pretty
like,
cool.
no white paper,
cool tech.
Yeah, no white. That's the thing. People don't really need anything anymore. They look at influencers these days. Like, the marketing can manipulate, and that's absolutely 100%. Well.
So how do you blow through that hype? How do you blow through that hype? If you're an average person, how do you say, okay, well, this is going to pump and dump, and if I put my money in it, it's just a complete gamble, versus this one actually has some validity to it. There's a real team, there's real building, there's real structure. I mean, do you do that when you're looking at these deals?
Yeah. So it's very easy to filter projects for me. First of all, like, it's a scam or it's not a scam.
Right.
If it's not a scam, because like, there are obvious points. Like, I'm in the industry for so long. Like, I'm sure that if I give 10 websites to Danielle would easily say within 5 minutes, this is a scam, this is not a scam, this is
right.
Like, it's like, we've been in the industry for a while. And the second thing what I filter on then, if it's not a scam, it's like, is it new to the market, or is it just a copy paste of something what already exists? Uniswap, TrustSwap, all those swap protocols still on Ethereum, and no new features. So it's like, is it needed? Is it not needed? I don't care.
So now you're talking about scam. Basically, I'm gonna translate in my words. Okay, so scam phase 1, wipe it out. Phase 2, does it have depth or anything unique about it, right? So that now you're starting to filter down into some sense of reality, right?
Yeah, you get like instantly, like, let's say 60-70% filtered out immediately. Yeah. And then it's about looking into the white paper, look into the tokenomics, look at their marketing strategy, what they have done, and their roadmap, look at their community building, how active is the community, how is the community sentiment, very important. And what we saw, like when the market was down, there were like airdrops and bounty campaigns all over. It's not happening anymore. Right now, with these IDOs, people need to have, for example, on Polkastarter, you need to have 3,000 POLS to get into the private pool, or it's by whitelisting, and that's being handled by the project itself. So that's why these IDO platform tokens went times 30 and stuff. It's it was innovative. It is innovative, but in the end, like, if they are really an IDO platform, why don't they let those lottery tickets being picked up blockchain? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not rocket science.
So it's attempting to centralize decentralization and put a container around it so there can be some cash grabs, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Basically.
So I mean, it's like, for me, I see 2018 all over. Like 2017, 2018, and even this morning in a gift to CEO of a gaming company in Malta. Posted something about the market, and I just told him, like, man, I'm just not looking at them. I'm going back to my crypto cave and come out and be happy.
Right.
I mean, people step in, and that's the thing. Like, it's 2018 all over. People step in, and by tomorrow it needs to be ×3 or ×2 or gain so much, or oh no, I doubt. And they start selling. A lot of people, like the new people, they are getting burnt right now, selling in a loss. People, please just look at the market. Like, we've been going through this.
Yeah, if you look
back in 2-3 years and smile. You know?
From the macro perspective, Christoph, without going in the details of every single project, so without stock picking, okay, see the market as a whole beast. So we were in the region of billions or hundreds of billions, so 3 years ago, and now we are in the trillion. So it's like when you bet on an index fund, okay? So would you buy Amazon? Would you buy Apple? Would you buy Tesla? Or would you buy an ETF on S&P 500? Let's say a Vanguard, whatever. So, and from a macro perspective, so you have to bet, as long as you believe into this industry, that the market will go up, okay? Because there will be more and more adoption. Today's, we should not forget, there are only, in brackets, 100 million people having a Bitcoin wallet. 100 million people. And this industry is growing 50% year on year. So the 100 million of the Bitcoiners today, there will be 1 billion in 4 years to come. So this means if you aggregate, and if you see from the macro landscape, this industry is likely to grow to the network effect by 10 times versus where we are today. Likely.
So you said something there, Daniele, that's quite interesting, which is you said this industry. And let's kind of dig into that. So I think we can all agree that this is real enough now. It's not, it is an industry. Let's talk about that.
We're still early.
It's an early stage industry, just like .com was an industry. It became an industry.
It's like internet. I've seen a couple of graphs. Internet in 1997.
Right.
There was a kind of correlation of where we are today in the crypto, in the digital asset space versus internet in the 1997.
Right. And so going back, if we say that, then we look at what happened. What about that group of people who bought Amazon, Google, and forgot about it? Just forgot about it. Bought a bit of it, a few $100s here, a few $1,000s there, and forgot about it. And woke up one day in 2020 and were extremely happy they forgot about it. Right? Same thing about the Bitcoin buyers back in 2010, right? Just woke up and went, wow, that's quite interesting. So you know what? It doesn't matter if it's 50,000 or 5,000 if you bought it in 2010, right? It makes no difference. You killed it. It's just about a matter of how big it got. And I think that's kind of the point of what you both are saying, which is if you can filter out that 70% of noise, get it down to maybe 30%, start looking at what some of those fundamentals are. And if you're going to be a trader, let's be realistic. There's trading, and that's always been in the market, and it will always be there. There's a reason for speculation. And there's also this idea of fundamental, what's going to be here in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, whatever, what's going to be here now that we have a new industry formed. Would you guys agree with that kind of perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So this industry, I mean, it's relatively new, but has already done a lot. Has already done a lot. So we really breached various hyped phase, and we're getting into a more utilitarian phase. This is how evolution works.
Right.
And again, here, so people believe that as long as you buy a token, you become a millionaire. So, and always repeating, is not just buying a random token, but having the gut to step into it at any point in time. Doesn't really matter when. As long as you believe and you hold, then you will win. But it doesn't mean that you're going to do 100x, 10x, 1000x. As long as you strongly believe in an asset and you keep it for a longer period of time, that you surpass this volatility thing, then you can win. But I know a lot of people personally that enter into Bitcoin very, very early, 2012, 2013, that bought Bitcoin at a fraction of a cost. And they sold Bitcoin for a few cents. So they could have been, multi-millionaires today, and they sold Bitcoin for $500 back in 2013. So, and what does it really change? And as Warren Buffett is always repeating, you don't have to be smart to be a good investor, but you need to have the approach that somehow go beyond this noise. That's the difficult thing also for us that are doers in the space. So you should not be, distracted too much for all this noise, because there's a lot, and you do absolutely nothing and you risk to lose capital. And for us, we lose time to market. Instead of focusing on what really matters to you into this space and what is your product to fit or market to fit approach. And only win long term, in my view, you can win. But if you just daily following what's going on and eventually trying to buy and sell tokens at the right place, whatever, I personally don't think that's the right approach.
And let me ask this, Christoph. When I know how much, first of all, I know how hard you work, and I know you don't sleep much and all of that. But on average, and again, without using the word expert, but on average, how many hours a day do you spend doing your craft, doing your work in this space?
I can tell you,
I think that's like 14 hours every day minimum. Like,
how many days a week?
It's a hobby. It's a hobby, and the industry is so big. And since I understand so much in this industry, in the way of like the industry is so big, so I only focus on like the exchanges, the blockchain, how the blockchain works, and the innovation of it itself.
Yeah.
Like, I think that with crypto or crypto or blockchain projects investments, the analysis that you do is much more innovative than if you would go to the stock market. Because if I would need to invest in any project right now, knowing that cannabis industry became that big, basically, nobody believed in it initially, with good reasons probably, but I think the next big thing for that would be then, I think psychedelics for like depressions and stuff, because it's needed. First of all, it's needed, and it's just to be proven. But there's a lot of research being going on already. And secondly, with this COVID, this lockdown, there's a lot of need now. And I mean, the mental problems and economic, not just the economical problems, but the mental problems. And for the medical industry, I think that is like the next big thing to invest in.
Well, and the opioid crisis as well, right? You've got the opioid crisis and things like that drive, has killed millions of people, and we need some solutions there. But getting back to it, you said you used the word hobby. It sounds to me more like passion, because you don't stay up 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. I happen to know the answer to the question I'm asking already.
Well, it is with moments, because like I'm a business development consultant, so projects require my services, to say it like that, and I analyze the project and I analyze the marketing, and either way it's a go-to-marketing strategy or from development side, look at features, because a lot of projects don't even have they use the word DeFi, and there's like absolutely nothing DeFi connected to them, not even like on stake, on chain staking and stuff like that. So or when a project really hypes me, then it's like easily like I build out everything still on A3 papers. Like I have a bunch laying there, and it's like 20 hours a day then. But it's just the momentum, because a lot of this is you need to be quick in this industry, because else and you need to like have the guts to make the steps, because else only run behind the facts, you know.
Do you feel like you're contributing to the growth of the industry with your work that you're doing, and to helping create kind of these frameworks and models so people can understand what fundamentals are, what speculation is, and if not how to do it, some of the creation of what is smart and what is not so smart. We'll call it stupid.
I was just going to say.
It's more where I'm a chief business development officer, so for me it's all about features and the whole business development on its own. The least what I like to do is marketing side, because I want to bring good stuff to the people. I want to bring good features where the people benefit. So the marketing side, they just need to write marketing about it. So let me just focus on my thing, what I prefer to do, so I can be more deliver more quality. But when you work with those projects, the amount of projects that have absolutely no fundamentals and they just want to get a marketing strategy going, because like I say, with making a marketing strategy, a token can easily do ×5 within a month.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So marketing strategy can be driven by influencers who obviously have a big stake in the success of a project, because they always take equity or tokens for.
They get paid these days in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or USDT.
So do they take an interest in the project, or they just hired guns? Hired guns.
Hired guns. It's just a service. It's like outsourcing a marketing campaign.
So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You pay me up front, and that's the risk you take.
Yeah.
Right. And so a business has to try and recover all that marketing cost, plus pump this thing up in order to get their money back, as well as make a big profit. Right. That's what they're trying to do.
The strategy itself is pretty easy. It's like, first of all, you need to have the community, you need to have a blog, you need to have a few articles, let's say 2 articles that you write just internally to update your community, that the first week. And then you go to Twitter and you go more to the upcoming steps and what you've reached, and then an analysis, like how much you grew. In the meantime, you do AMAs to attract a whole new community, basically. And while holding AMAs in another channel, so not your community channel, you also announce that in 2 weeks you're going to have a $5,000 of your token price pool. So all those AMA hunters, they just come to your community. What does your current community see? Massive growth of active people. Those people are not bots. Hey, when is the AMA hub? And they bring the hype, they bring the momentum. And from there on, you go to YouTubers. And YouTubers just start to talk about like the latest updates, or what you brought, or what the project is about, or what actually the fundamentals, and they try to hype the fundamentals to the people. I wouldn't say hype. Well, even though a project only has one fundamental, if they pay the money for it, they can promote that one fundamental. Influencers, like the top influencers, they do their due diligence. Whatever you feed to them, they will look at it, but they will not promote everything.
But if you see from
a good thing. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but look at Ivan. Ivan was top advisor for Paid Network. Paid Network got hacked, and Ivan instantly changed all his content. He's not promoting anymore. He went back to his crypto cave, to say it like that. Yeah. Because I'm in contact with him like a lot, and I'm like, well, this sucks. And so he does more the market analysis right now, which is good. He tries to educate the people, and I think that there should be more people like him.
Yeah.
But it's not.
He's got to be obviously.
Yeah. What I want to ask is that, don't you think it's let's say you have a project, let's say a DeFi, whatever, as we're doing, we want to build a truly decentralized technology. At least that's in our mind, with a different type of application, different type of use case. But the long-term view is to really decentralize a utility of some transactions, whatever those transactions are. Okay. So this means that's the core concept of most of the founders in the space. But think about how did they bring this idea back in the eyeballs of people? They go to influencers, which is a very centralized kind of guy that it's kind of filtering a message, and they're using platforms like YouTube, where most of the money is captured by Google, and a very fraction of the revenues that are being captured by YouTube are being redistributed to the content creator, in this case, influencer, at the space of the community, at the space of the founder of the project. So to me, the whole model, I do see not sustainable into a decentralized fashion. That's why I'm so passionate about the Web3 and the vision of decentralizing the web, because the NFT, and I jump into the NFT as well, to me, the NFT represent what DeFi for money in the space of content, in the space of information. So by decentralizing, in a tokenizing form, whatever piece of content that has a value across the web. So, and I think, so we have two things that we're moving forward, which is the Blockstars vision throughout the token, and also kind of a decentralized pooling research via Fusion Funder, again, using a decentralized approach. So, but in my view, relying on influencers, it doesn't really fit into our long-term vision.
No.
Well, you said something, Daniele, that I want to pick up. You used the word utility. And last spring and all summer and last year even, 2020, we were always talking about the utility token. That was blown out of the window. It's gone. It's just
forget about it.
Forget about utility. We discovered NFTs and DeFi and everything else about October, November. Boom, utilities just like got forgotten about. But it comes back to how we started today, which is really, at the end of the day, what did Google, Amazon, Alibaba, Apple even, what did they provide? They provided functionality. They provided Amazon, e-commerce. Now we're moving into de-commerce, decentralized commerce. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be amazing. Do you have the core platform to do that today? Like today. Google, search. Search gave rise to, people are looking for this. So now we can do analytics. We can do advertising. Reframed the entire world of marketing. Then you ended up with Alibaba, a bunch of manufacturers around China. Okay, qualified access to manufactured goods out of Asia, right? So real fundamentals or utility, if you will, ultimately things like Facebook, utility of communications, Twitter, utility of that communication channel. And the guys we rely on today all started with utility. The ones we forgot about, the ones that are gone, the ones that blew up started on influencer, a different kind of marketing, but it was still there. It's always going to be there. It was always there. So it boils down to kind of the structures that you guys are talking about of how do you find those and how do you get back to that foundation? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I can tell you, I can give you an example, which is the model that, we're going to present in the coming weeks about, I call it the Patronage Plus model.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Patronage, but Patronage Plus it's a brand new concept, which is in a research manner within the Web3. But I think we bring to life within the Fusion Funder landscape, which is essentially, let's say, the blockchain in nature is cutting the middlemen as a whole. Okay.
Right.
So if you have an idea, whatever the idea is, and again, I'm on the fundamental level. I'm a founder, I have an idea, I want to succeed. I want to craft the product, I want to build content. Very simply, I'm a painter, I'm a digital artist, or I'm crafting a product. Could be digital or not, doesn't really matter. But I have an idea, but I need for capital. So the traditional route is going to the VC or to ask for money. Mm-hmm. Or if I have money, I go to an influencer Okay, then the influencer will talk about myself, my project, and eventually will convince someone to come on board and eventually to buy my product or to follow my online platform, whatever I'm doing. There is a third way, which is what the decentralized web is meant to be, which is you showcase your idea, and then there is a pool of people that are willing to join into this idea by contributing to the success of the idea. And decentralized web somehow redistributes the reward that this project brings to the community back to the people that believed early stage.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole idea where I'm all passionate. I'm struggle to sleep at night just to craft this idea and these little details, because Fusion Funder is the project that we bring to life a few months ago with a basic concept of matchmaking, because this Web3 is still in development somehow. But now this idea of decentralizing this matchmaking is becoming real.
Right.
Okay. So now when we say being at the right time, at the right place, the whole stars right now are connecting each other via the Web3 vision of decentralized transaction and creating true value without having real middlemen in between. So also for what we're doing, so I'm not willing to really to get in touch or to talk or to have influencers pushing our project forward, because the visions we have, it doesn't fit into an influencing.
It needs to be picked up by the development itself of the ecosystem and of the project of Blocksearch itself. I think first the vision of Blocksearch is more we deliver and we will get picked up. Right. Because it is fundamental and it is needed and it is an improvement to the corporate lifestyle, to say it like that.
So given that, I basically listened to Web3. I've listened to you guys. We're running out of time here, so thank you for being here. But the I'm three takeaways. There's speculation. It's always going to be there. It's supposed to be there, and that's what markets are for, to lay off risk and to allow speculators to take the risk when there's fundamentals underneath it. This is the foundation of the commodities market as well as the stock market. You don't get on the stock market if you don't have a real business. It just doesn't happen, right? For the most part. I mean, some real businesses got there, and we've seen the disasters of that, like Enron and FOMO back in the day when those things were crashing. But for the most part, they're legit. So utility, fundamental. Speculation, reality, and marketing, or what we call influencer, really, really critical to make people aware. And when those things come together seamlessly in a decentralized market, all of a sudden, now we have an industry.
Yeah, and you also add a community and then a reward back to the community. Man.
Well, the thing with influencers is, and I'm just going to share my screen if I can find this thing real quickly.
Yeah, just go down to the bottom and.
Yeah, I need to give access. Hold on. Then I need to reopen it. Anyway, let's see. I can just quickly send it to Danielle, the screenshot. Danielle, can you go on Telegram?
Yeah.
And then share your screen. That is just too funny. I'll just run through it when Danielle has it open on the screen.
Yeah, let me open it.
Like, just to add up to everything what you just said, Tim. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh how crazy the market is right now. How disgusting, crazy, but funny. I mean,
well, and we're seeing this emerge, and we're seeing this all come up. So
you see that?
Yeah, open it up.
Yes.
So it's a Telegram group of an influencer, okay, an announcement.
Right.
So you can even read what he says. So what he's going to do, like, I'm just going to quickly go through it. No fundamentals. I'm just going to create a token on the Binance blockchain, and we're going to list it on PancakeSwap. We're going to pump it by 20, by 30 times. He's a big follower. That's why. Well, I look at his messages, and it's just funny. So he made the token Mooncunt, to say it like that. Well, like that. The poll that he did, like, should I do it? Like, do it or do it? He only had two options, so just do it. And he made the token. Now, yeah, I'm gonna give you a link on Telegram as well. You can open it up, right, on the screen.
Yeah, I got it.
So here's a shot of the token of what it did the past 1.5 days. And he didn't even promote it yet through other influencers, because he has connections to the other influencers as well to get it cross-promoted.
You see that?
Right,
Yes.
you need a new laptop. Look at that. And you can even look at the time if you scroll down on the website, Danielle.
Yeah.
So that people can see as well.
So
Look
from
at it. It's 24 hours. 24 hours it did it times 5.
Yeah.
Absolutely no fundamentals. Absolutely nothing. It's just like, oh, hey guys, I'm going to create a token. Let's go for it. Let's have some fun. Let's list it and everybody talk about it. Let's go, 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 go. Here you go. This is
Tim, does this remind you of penny stocks in the mid 80s?
Definitely, Dan. That's exactly
Oh
what
my
I'm
God,
thinking
wow.
about. Yeah.
It's that easy. You create a token, like in within half an hour, he launched the token. Et voila. Let's go, guys. Let's do it. 24 hours later, times 5. It even started at 0.005, so it did actually at times 10 already. So
Yeah.
I mean, and
Well-
he announced in his channel, next week I'm gonna start like a marketing campaign about it. Because like SafeMoon, for example, also no fundamentals, but it reached PR and stuff like that. So I'm sure it can get this reaching PR as well. So it's going to be the next SafeMoon, basically. Another thing what he did is that he would just like burn 50% of the token supply. That's how we place with it. Let's burn 50% of the token supply if we hit 5,000 wallets.
So there you have it. So we're out of time, but guys, thank you so much for the information. I think that people need to hear this. Fundamentals, utility, speculation is there for a good reason, but make sure the reasons are good if you get into that market and you know what you're doing. And marketing is important. It's critical. It's how we spread the word, but it also can be used in a very, very unsavory way, as you just saw. So
yeah.
those
Never
are the
step in pump and dumps. Don't do it. Don't get wrecked.
don't do the pump and dumps. Don't buy into it. Don't buy into the FOMO, and buy into the fundamentals. It is going to grow. Get your fundamental project in your portfolios and look at what it is about. And then ultimately you will find that while you're in this marketplace, we're actually providing real products, and it's a real industry now. It's the transformation of the software and technology industry. At the end of the day, that's what's happening here. And there's going to be new ways to buy software, which is decentralized. There's going to be new ways to use cloud. That's decentralized. That's what we're about here. We're a software company. We're a technology company. I focus my 14, 15-hour days on that, Christoph, as you know. Yep. And real engineering is moving at lightning speed. Web 3.0 are all the buzzwords you hear: blockchain, machine learning, AI. All this is part of Web 3, tokenomics, all that. Financial sciences is a new way to build the cloud, and that's what we're about. We're going to come back next week, talk more about that, but today we'd like to thank everybody for your time, for joining us. Hopefully this was good information, and there are opportunities out there. Find the right ones, right, guys?
That's right. And Tim, to your point, a $2 trillion marketplace in the software service, and that's going to be disrupted. It's going to be transformed and decentralized.
Exactly. But with all that, thank you guys. Thanks everybody. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Really, stay safe. Use the mask. Stay healthy, because that helps too. And get digital. Digital is where it's at. Decentralized digital. And Christoph, I can't thank you enough for being here and helping us spread the word.
Yeah, and Tim, can you share just the last slide just real quick?
I can, yes.
That would be great. If you like this, definitely use the thumbs up and just below here. That would be great. And then also, we are entering into the last of our discounted BCERT tokens. If you'd like to become a part of our community, just go to token.blocksearch.com and you can join us with real utility value and a real business model that is transforming an industry, a $2 trillion industry. So please come and be a part of our community, and we look forward to having you.
Come join us as a pirate of the SaaS community.
Yeah,
We're gonna reshape SaaS and cloud. That's what BlockSearch is about. Cloud power to the people.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.